Ever chewed the cud over why that there yarn about Bigfoot, that hulking big hair-caked varmint, keeps on a-rolling through the timberland? Well, let me spin you a tale. The saga of Bigfoot, that big old fur-clad critter, is as ancient as the hills themselves. Handed down from kin to kin, these here tales are seeped in riddles and a heap of curiosity. From the Appalachian hills to them rocky tops, murmurings of this here elusive critter have hung on like a pertinacious hickory stump. Country folk spin tales about catching sight of a shadowy figure, standing high as the loftiest pine, vanishing into the woodland faster than a cottontail in a coyote run. 'Tis these sightings, these peeks into the unknown, that turn Bigfoot into a folklore as long-lasting as them mountains yonder. Why? Why this here creature, this legendary beast, keeps us all a-buzzing? Could it be our captivation with the impenetrable, the unknown, the wild and the free-roaming? The legend of Bigfoot ain't just a yarn for around the campfire. It's a riddle that's been a-pesting us for donkey's years. Wondering where this heifer-sized varmint sprung from, are you? Well, hitch your wagon and lend old Jed here your ears. Let's rustle up the most common yarn, the one that's been chewed like cud in diners and round campfire light for more than a coon's age. Some folks reckon Bigfoot's nothing but a lost kin, a hark back to the times when cave folks were the talk of the town. Might be that Bigfoot's a sprout of the Gigantopithecus tree, a prehistoric primate that'd stand taller than 2 cornstalks. Now wouldn't that just beat all? Then there's the notion that Bigfoot's just a regular old critter, though he's sure as a mule is stubborn, a big 'un. Some folks figure he might just be a species of bear, or a right big primate that stayed hidden as a church mouse. You know how critters are, always finding new ways to catch us off guard. But Bigfoot ain't just a creature of the hollers and the wild country. He's a part of our culture too. From the Pacific Northwest to the Appalachian peaks, Bigfoot's woven into our folk tales. In some native tribes, critters that look like Bigfoot are seen as spirit walkers, walking between our world and the spirit world. In other parts of the globe, Bigfoot goes by different names. In the Himalayas, they call him Yeti. Down under, he's known as Yowie. In Russia, he's the Almasty. Different monikers, same varmint, or maybe not, that's the riddle of it. Might be Bigfoot's a relic from the past, a creature that's held on tight against all odds. Or might be it's a critter we've yet not laid eyes on. Or maybe, just maybe, Bigfoot's a yarn we've spun, a symbol of the wild woods and our own deep-seated fears. Now, I ain't saying I hold the truth, but I do know this. Whether Bigfoot's as real as the dirt or not, he's dug his way into our minds, a symbol of the unknown lurking just out of the campfire's glow. So, Bigfoot might just be a relic from the past, or maybe just a figment of our old heads. Now y'all hunker down and lend an ear. This here's a yarn from a lil old town where Bigfoot ain't no tall tale. You see, this ain't no run-of-the-mill burg. It's a spot where the timbers whisper secrets in the hush of the breeze, and the critters spin yarns under the pale moonlight. One day, Bigfoot decided to mosey on over. Folks caught sight of a lofty shadow all shrouded in fur, sauntering round like he was the big cheese. Now, you can reckon the ruckus that raised. Folks were scared out of their boots, while some were jumping out of their skins with glee. The town busybody, Miss Paddy, she couldn't help but jibber-jabber about it from sun-up to sundown. The town's air got all thick with dread and intrigue. It was like a pot of stew bubbling with... There was old man Jenkins, who'd been through hell and high water, but ain't never seen such a critter. He was all twitchy like a cat on a sizzling shingle. Then there was young Billy, the town's wild hare, who was itching to get an eyeful. Families clung together at sundown, whispering about the beast. The local hooch hole hummed with speculation and tall tales. It felt like the town was living in an endless state of hanging fire, waiting for the next sighting. That town ain't been right since, and the folks there, they'll swear on a stack of Bibles about what they saw. The whole mess got so wildcats, the town's LDog had to poke his nose in. What he unearthed, well, it's fixing shiver your timbers. This here LDog weren't no ordinary badge. He was tough as nails and could outfox a box of rocks. Seen his fair share of dust-ups, but this was something else. When the town folk started jawing about some critter out in the woods, he reckoned it was all hogwash and hooch talk, but the yarns kept rolling in. Quiet gab about a creature, half man, half beast, stalking the timberland at town's end. Knew he had to dig up the truth. So the LDog heads out, nose to the Grindstone. He finds tracks big as wash basins stomped into the mud. Hears tales from good straight-shooting folk who swear on the good book they've glimpsed the critter. Even finds bunches of fur, rough and dark, caught on the thorn bush. But doubts hang around like a mist on a nippy morn. The law dog's a doubter, you see. Knows that the willies can make folks see spooks where there ain't none. But with each fresh clue, he can't help but feel there's more to this story than what's on the surface. Our law dog, he's a doubter, but he can't turn a blind eye to the fact that there's something fishy going on. But here's where the grit hits the griddle. You'll ever hear tell of a government hush-hush? Hold on to your britches now. This here's where the gopher hole gets as deep as the Grand Canyon. We've all heard yarns about them government boys swooping in when things get queerer than a rattletrap at a rodeo, ain't we? Well, let's chew the cud on some reckonings about Uncle Sam's supposed hand in keeping Sasquatch hushed up. Ponder on this, if you will, a twisted trail of underhandedness, windier than a snake in a jug. Envision the government, sneaky as a fox in a henhouse, skulking around in the moonlight, keeping the real story about Bigfoot in the root cellar. Ain't that a conundrum? Tales of vanishing proof are as common as fleas on a farm dog. Folks swear they got the goods, only for 'em to disappear quicker than a jackrabbit with a coyote on its tail. Eyewitnesses gab about fellas in shadowy suits, swooping in like hawks on a field mouse, snatching up evidence before it can even see the blue of day. Makes you scratch your head, don't it? And let's not forget those hushed whispers, the folks who've seen more than they should, and now can't say a darn thing. They're like roosters at dawn, afraid to crow for fear of ruffling feathers. Witnesses get hushed up, their stories buried deeper than a tick on a fat hog. It's a crying shame, but it's a story older than the hills. But the real kick in the pants, the true bug in your britches. Some folks figure this whole Sasquatch hullabaloo is just a load of bull, a tall tale spun by the government to keep our eyes off the prize. Might be they're onto something. Might be they're chasing their tails. But it sure does make you ponder, don't it? So, is Bigfoot as real as the nose on your face, or just a fable spun by the government? That's for you to figure.